I'm now starting to think a lot of these actors have contracts with movie studios. For example, John Cena, you have this, and Jackpot. The guy that was just in this was just in Deep Cover as well. Am I wrong? I don't know. Chase Lehocky here with the Blue Futon, reviewing Heads of State. Do not confuse this with Head of State with Chris Rock. This is Heads of State. What about pretty simple premise? John Cena is the president. Idris Elba is the prime minister of the UK, and they don't like each other at all, but they got to team up because some horrific shit breach of security is happening, and they want NATO to disband. Or do they? Or other organizations that are trying to dismantle this 25 or is it 28 state organization or country organization? Sure. So did I like this movie? I enjoyed it. This was silly, stupid fun. But even though this was filmed 3 years ago, or the idea was 3 years ago, there was some dialogue element where I was like, really? We're going to put it in there? Because you could totally tell some of the dialogue elements were a stab, like American First policies, like, ha, 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 even though they probably like realized, oh, fuck, we just released this and NATO is now paying 5% what they promised like years ago. So you're thinking, yeah, maybe it wasn't just about America First. But of course, there's other policies as well where, it is true when you look at society of who drags people into war, World War I, World War II. Of course, Iraq war is a little bit different. Ukraine, who's trying to drag us into there, and other things as well. So I understand some of the dialogue elements of this movie, and sure, it's very minimal compared to this silly, stupid plot of kind of a buddy comedy road trip from going to different locations. I'm intrigued if they do make a sequel, it would be kind of a spin-off, and I think the spin-off sequel would be fun because the director of this did Nobody, Hardcore Henry, and I want to say one more. He does have a good eye for action set pieces. He truly does. There's a bombastically great car chase at the very end that deals with like a fire truck flipping. Fan-fucking-tastic. Okay, I shouldn't have said that because this is a PG-13 movie. There's also good cameos in this movie about a good Poland, Warsaw, CIA safe house battle sequence that was also really good. And you could tell that even I watched this AMA when him and on a Reddit, and someone asked, was this supposed to be rated R? He said, no, this is always supposed to be PG-13, like a family movie. I mean, yeah, there wasn't a lot of language in this movie, but calling this family action, it's hard to say because there's a lot of like hardcore action in this movie where like, damn, that person could have died or is dead, and that person got cut in half by a door. So saying this is a family-friendly PG-13 movie is not the case. To me, it's a very hard PG-13 action movie that has good chemistry with Idris Elba and John Cena about, politicians in today's day and age, because this one, Idris Elba is very, like, hardcore with the UK, and people are saying, yo, you need to be kind of liked to be in this position. I understand that you want to make the world a better place, but you have to have likability for a politician. For John Cena, they're saying he's too likable, kind of an action movie star trying to become president, kind of like the Arnold Schwarzenegger, kind of like the Ronald Reagan, kind of like the Trump, if you want to put it that way, of, being high in the polls because of his likability of him trying to do good for America and trying to like get everyone together. But you're really not in this. Also, Jonas, I know that's her last name because she married one of the Jonases. She's also in a lot of Amazon movies as well. But this movie, you're here for the action. You're really not here for the story. Yes, you could say some of the comedic bantering doesn't work and is not as funny as it's supposed to be. There's also great elements, you could say, of patriotism or of like people that sign up for the job of Secret Service, military in this seat, that they know their job is to protect the president and they're going to do it. So there are some fantastic scenes, especially in Air Force One, that really correlates and like has a good, strong message about that. And so I do give props to the directors and writers for doing that as well. And how the politician aspects of NATO, it's very interesting because this is a Russian director and you could be like, oh, NATO, Russia, and Ukraine, Russia. It has nothing to fucking do with it at all, in my opinion. But it is very interesting about NATO and the whole articles. And if you actually read into it, it's very interesting. If like one country gets attacked, they all have to come to help. That's why Ukraine wants to be part of it because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. But then you have, Finland, Norway, and Sweden up there, the Nordic states or Nordic countries, about, NATO as well. I've done NATO exercises in Germany, so it's very interesting as well about who is actually in charge. And when we are in NATO exercises, the only country that was actually helping was Sweden because they were new-ish to NATO. But every other country's response, but this was back in 2023, was, oh, we'll just follow what the U.S. does. We'll follow what the Americans do for NATO exercises. It's like, but we're in Europe. If we need oil, if we need gas, what are your situations? Because Germany, we know you get a lot of your fuel from Russia. And so there's little things like that where I see real world elements where I have experience. And looking at this movie where I'm like, okay, it's a little short-sighted with some of the writing when dealing with NATO. Sure, why not? I'm not going to really pickpocket that and like really like, oh my God, how dare you? But you're really not, like I said, you're not watching this movie for that reason. You're watching this movie for good action set pieces that go a million miles a second that are very elongated and fun. And sometimes when watching Old Guard, let's compare it to this because these both came out on July 2nd. Old Guard, the action set pieces are kind of boring, edited piss poorly, and feel contained. Here, they're fun. You feel the action, you feel the punches, and you're just having a lot more fun with Heads of State. So overall, Amazon Prime, pretty good movie. The last one I watched was Deep Cover. If you had to choose between this or Deep Cover, I do recommend Heads of State for the more action fun. But if you're looking for the more comedic cohesiveness, Deep Cover. That's all up to you. So Heads of State will receive a 4 out of 5 with Futons, which equals at 80%. So see what the critics and user scores gave this one. We have an 87 with the critics with 21 of them, 79 with the audience score with over 250 critic consensus. Head of State's lighthearted handling of geopolitics may be too cute by half, but the comedic alliance between Idris Elba and John Cena remains strong in this slick action flick. If you're talking about, geopolitical with this and G20 as well, choose this one all the time. 79, 80, 67. Chase Sock here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of these Futontopia. You Blue Futonians, thank you for watching. Have a great day. I don't care if you watch this today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. I love every single freak one of you. Peace and love, peace and love. And would you rather be a president or no? I'm good without being out of politics. I am good.